Hello everyone, I am Douglas E. Welch for A Gardener's Notebook, and this is a container garden update. For more information, you can always visit the website, douglasewelch.com. Well, as you can see here on our makeshift potting bench, we have not only the rosemary cuttings we did the other day, but also a few other things. As I mentioned in the open, here we have our rosemary cuttings that we took last week. The thing you want to look for is needles that are dropping off, cuttings that are looking a little bit dry. We've been really lucky. It's been rather cool and it's been rather shady the last week, and so that has helped them prevent them from drying out. They all look fairly healthy. This one here is looking a little bit dry, and maybe this one over here, but otherwise I think we should probably get at least a 50% yield on our rosemary cuttings. Now here you cannot see anything at all, but I can show you an example of what is in these pots. Our Ficus benjamina tree has been dropping fruit like crazy, and it just occurred to me, it was actually dropping it all over my bench, and I said, why don't I try to propagate some of those? Maybe I can make some house plants, some house trees for people. As again, part of the propagation project, I figured, why not? And so I've actually potted up 4 pots of Ficus benjamina seeds right off our tree. We'll see if any of those will sprout for us. I'm hoping they will. We certainly have enough seed. And again, just keeping these generally moist and waiting to see any signs of germination. Finally, here in our recycled container, this is Ficus repans. This is a climbing fig, and I was reading online that some people find it a little hard to propagate even though it is a vine. So I figured, in reading some stuff, they said one of the better ways of propagating is to layer it, which is to find where the vines are contacting the soil and putting down roots already, and then using those as your cuttings. Well, as part of trying to make that happen myself, I've actually taken a series of Ficus repans vines, laid them horizontally in the soil and covered them up with some soil, keep it nice and wet and damp, and I want to see if it'll actually put down some roots from these various cuttings, and if so, then I'll pot these on and I'll have some nice cuttings to put on the wall behind me here to kind of lighten it up and put it back to what it used to be before. We used to have a lovely ficus covered wall behind us here that was removed when the old wall was torn down due to some construction behind us. Checking in on our food containers out here in the front. This is my Frugal lettuce project, you see, and it looks like 2 of the 3, actually maybe, didn't even notice it, maybe even 3 of the 3 are still living here. They're still moving forward. We're seeing a tiny bit of growth on them, so maybe those will continue on apace. I will say that the red leaf lettuce varieties of these that I bought at the store do not do this at all. Both the ones I put in have just simply expired immediately, where the green lettuce does appear to be going a little bit better. We're still waiting for the nasturtium to see if they arise around the outside ring of this pot. We're not seeing anything yet. They say 7 to 10 days, 10 to 12 days, whatever on the package, so I'm not really expecting them just yet, but hopefully they'll arise in a ring around the outside edges. And here we have our Buttercrunch lettuce pot. There's a little bit of leaf lettuce in there as well, but the Buttercrunch is done by far better than anything else in here. These are actually heading up quite nicely. This is the type of lettuce that will probably end up taking the whole heads out once they're ready to eat. But overall, I'm guessing another week or 2, and we should have some nice sized heads that we can pull out and make into salad. Here you can see the basil plants we planted, I guess about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. They're actually doing really well. They're starting to throw off new growth and everything, so much so that I'm having to pinch them back to get them to bush out a little bit. You may be able to see right here, darn squirrels. Yes, the squirrels keep digging in our pots. There's about nothing we can do with that, short of putting a cage over top of it. We had a few more strawberries over there, but it looks like either the birds or the squirrels got those as well. Again, we're about in a one-to-one parity with the wildlife here as far as how many strawberries we get out of our pots. And just to show, we'll have a little more strawberries coming out, and here's some strawberry blossoms already appearing on the plants in this other pot. And here on our parsley pot, you can see it's coming along gangbusters. Got kind of a thick stem there. Basically, that tells me I need to cut that back a little bit. You can see, you almost can't see actually, where I took some parsley for our soup pot the other day. New growth is already covering over where I trimmed it back. We're actually seeing a few chives down here in the front. We had originally had planted some chives in here that didn't do very well. Squirrels stuck them on and stuff, but actually there's a few coming on, so maybe we'll continue to get some other herbs from this pot as well. And just like last week, the theme for this week is propagate, propagate, propagate. Now, you saw my seeds on the back potting bench back there. I got to thinking too, while I don't need any more trees here on my property, maybe I can give some to some friends or some other people who might want them. Because certainly we get seedlings everywhere in the garden. These are camphor tree seedlings. There's a camphor tree basically directly behind me here, and it tends to drop a lot of seed, and there was enough water from the rain this year that it brought up a bunch of seedlings. And while I'll pull most of these out, I realized, why don't I just try and take some of these seedlings out, pot them up, and see if I can grow them on. So here's a nice healthy one here. I'm just gonna go down underneath it, pop it up. Soil's kind of hard here. Let's see here if we can pull. Oh my goodness, yeah, look, I don't know if you can see that clearly, but look at the roots on that. That's definitely a healthy seedling there. What we're going to do is I prepared a few pots here. We're just going to, I think I'm actually going to break off that harder garden soil off there. We're going to make a nice little hole here for the root to go down. We're going to drop him in there and just firm him back up. Once I'm done with these, I will actually water them in really nicely and put them back on the potting bench with the other plants and see how they go. I think they'll be pretty good because frankly these things grow like weeds here in my garden, and as they say, a weed is merely a plant growing where you don't want it. So if I can actually make some use of these seedlings, again, give them to friends or whatever, why not? It could be a nice gift to be able to give a tree to someone. Here in Los Angeles, we actually have a program. The city has a program. I think it's the city, it might be the county, has a program to give away trees or sell them really inexpensively, although it seems lately they've been giving them away, for planting in your street side lawns and stuff, and they have a variety of trees that they give away. Again, these camphor trees have done very well here. They're pretty popular here in the neighborhood. I also have an ash tree and the big elm tree, which I mention on a regular basis here in my front yard, and you've seen it in various videos and overviews of the front yard. And here we are back at our potting bench. Here are the 4 camphor seedlings that I pulled out of that front yard bed, all potted up, all watered in nicely. We've given everything a drink here, keep it nice and moist so it sprouts roots, it actually starts to germinate the seedlings, and hopefully gets us some vines here. It's been typical spring here in Southern California. You saw we started earlier, it was gray and overcast. Now the sun is coming out. Not exceedingly warm here today, but certainly turning into a very nice day, but just as variable as springtime anywhere. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of a Container Garden Update for A Gardener's Notebook. For more information, you can always visit the website douglasewelch.com. There you'll find a link to the Gardener's Notebook blog and also some of our latest videos. I'd love to hear what's going on in your garden. Please send them via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the blog, whatever is most convenient to you. And most importantly, if you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoy the video, please click that like button. It really helps people discover my other videos. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, keep cutting, keep seedlings, keep propagating, keep germinating, and keep digging.